I read this yesterday. William T. Vollmann's Writing Towards Everywhere. This has kind of been on my radar for a while. I own a lot of William T. Vollmann books. I have read two, Horse for Gloria and Butterfly Stories, I think. Yes, the Butterfly Stories. And I've read like half, 2/3 the first volume of his Carbon Ideologies. Which I may go back to after this, because there's that same like sense of storytelling and reporting, I think, that exists in here. I really thought it was interesting the way he so if you don't know, this book is about catching trains, catching out, as it were. And William T. Vollmann, the author, always is big on doing his own research at risks to his life if necessary. He almost froze to death once while researching a book. He's been to places where it was not recommended due to high nuclear activity, radiation, that's the word. But this is sort of a love letter to an America of the past, in a way, to freight trains. It starts off with a short essay on freight trains, which I think originally appeared in Harper's or something like that. It's 50 pages long. It's not short, but you know, for this fellow, it's pretty brief. Just very, very interesting. He brings up Hemingway, he brings up Jack London, he brings up Jack Kerouac. Who else? Thomas Wolfe, Walt Whitman. A lot of my favorites, a lot of writers that I've read and either loved or appreciated. And I think that brought this to the next level for me, other than it just being a fascinating sort of adventure story. There is some political commentary in there as well, but it doesn't feel out of place. You don't feel preached to. You just feel like he's telling you what was going on at the time. And the time was like 2007, 8-ish, I believe. What else can I say about this? Vollmann is just a very interesting dude, and the way he writes and tells stories is just unique and fascinating and intriguing and beautiful and gritty. Yeah, I need to read more of his work for sure. But he also mentions Mark Twain in here, in a less than positive light, talking about life on the Mississippi. But yeah, this was kind of, I guess, an inspiring read in a way for me. I think we get used to being comfortable, and I think being comfortable becomes such a prize to us, or such a necessity to us, that we aren't willing to go out and do things that we want to do. I'm not saying you need to go illegally jump freight trains or do something dangerous, but I mean, there's things that we are afraid to go out on a limb, and it's different for every person, but we're afraid to take that next step, whether it's a creative endeavor or whatever it is. And I think that this is not like the moral of this story or anything like that. It's not that cheesy, but it did get me thinking about, like, you know, he wants to do this thing, so he goes and does this thing at great risk, and there's a sort of beauty and rewarding quality to it that most of us probably don't experience. So I guess that's one of my takeaways from this is, you know, maybe sometimes it's worth taking a risk to do what you want to do what you feel called to do, to put it in a little bit more cheesy, I guess. But beyond that, it's just, the writing is just so good. it feels very, very honest. It's heartfelt. I mean, you can tell this dude means every word he writes. And I think that's amazing. Especially, there's so much writing these days. I read a lot of, contemporary books, and a lot of the writing just feels flat or forced or whatever. There are still, I'm not one of those people who's just like, oh, writing's gone to shit, I think there's still a lot of good writing out there as well, but there's just so much crap. And amongst all the crap, there's stuff like this. And we need to read the stuff like this so that we know when we're reading crap. And that might be the best way I can put it. So, if you've never read Vollmann before, I don't think this is a bad place to start if this interests you. It may not. And if so, go find one of his other things. He writes so many different types of books. I highly recommend. So, if this interests you, go for it. Yeah. See y'all soon.